Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair and today's video will be pretty short and to the point. We're going to be talking about dark circles today, and I'm going to be sharing two affordable products with you that you can get for $10 to correct and brighten your under eyes if you have dark circles or any type of discoloration under your eyes. So if you're curious what these two products are and how I use them, please keep watching and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you want to make sure you do before you apply anything under your eyes is you have to moisturize this area. If you want to use eye cream, use that. If you want to bring your moisturizer under your eyes, do that. But this technique does not work if your under eyes are dry. You have to make sure they're moisturized. I applied some eye cream about a minute or two ago, and now I'm gonna go in with my first product. And this I discovered about a year ago. I just tried it on a whim for another video actually, and I realized this was incredible. And it's from Believe Beauty. It's the Brighten Up Correcting Concealer. And it looks like this. It's in a little pot and it's a peachy color. As you can see, this is $4 and you can get it from Dollar General. You can order it, I believe, or get it from your local Dollar General for $4. $4. It comes in two shades, light medium, which is what I have, and then medium dark, which is also a peach, but it's deeper. So if you have a deeper skin tone, I would go with that one. This is the answer to your darkness under your eyes. It's not concealer. It's not using a bright, lighter than your skin tone concealer. That's not gonna do it if you have discoloration under your eyes. If you want your under eyes to look brighter, the first step is to fix the discoloration. You can't just go in with a bright concealer. Most of the time, that's not gonna give you the look that you're looking for. Now, you can apply this with your finger if you want. Some people love to apply makeup with their fingers. I personally think this works the best and you get the best result with a brush. And the brushes that I like to use are like this. They're eyeshadow brushes usually that are flat. So like a flat shader brush. This is just a BH Cosmetics one, but any flat shader brush that you have at home will work. So I'm gonna start with this eye. What I will say is my right eye is not as bad as my left one. My left eye, as you can see, is pretty purpley right here, and then I have a vein that you can see that goes all the way up the side of my face. So we're gonna start on the right side, and I'm looking over in this direction because my mirror is over here. And we're gonna take this corrector and I'm gonna start it right in the inner corner because that's where typically we're the darkest. And I'm just gonna kind of brush it on and then tap it. Now, you want to put this where you see the discoloration. You don't want to slather this all over your under eyes like a concealer. You're going to use too much product if you do that, and then your under eyes are going to start to look cakey and you're probably not going to like how it looks. So I'm just tapping. I find tapping the corrector in with a brush gives you the best result. You can do it with your finger, like I said, but I feel like the brush is the way to go because you're not going to pick up too much product and you're really going to get the pigment that you need from the product to do the correcting. So I'm not using any additional product. I'm just tapping over what I've done. And you can see, look at the difference between this and this. This looks much brighter. And I just used the tiniest bit of this product. One last thing, I'm also gonna take whatever is left on the brush and I'm just gonna tap it at this very outer corner of my eye. I typically have this little place of darkness right there as well. A lot of people have that. So if you do have darkness out at your outer corner, you could do the same thing. Just, you don't want to use a lot of product, just what's left on your brush. Now that you've got your product laid down, I take a different brush, usually a clean eyeshadow brush that's a little bit bigger. I like this one the most. This is the Real Techniques medium, what is this? The medium shader brush. And it's fluffy. It's just a good bit bigger than the one we use to apply the corrector. And again, I'm just lightly going to tap over where we placed the corrector. Now you could just use the same brush you were using a minute ago, but then you may apply additional product, and I just find it works better to use a clean brush. And I'm holding my brush really far out, so I'm barely tapping, just like that. And see, look at this and this. To me, there's a huge difference. So already you've done a ton of the work and you haven't applied your concealer yet. So let's go ahead and we will work on the other eye. So I'm going to do the same thing. This eye, like I said, has more darkness, and then I also have this vein, which you can also use a corrector like this if you have veins under your eyes. That will work. Typically your veins are green or blue. So again, I'm going to get a little bit on my brush. I'm going to start at the inner corner, because wherever you put your brush first is where you're going to get the most product. So remember that wherever you have the most darkness, start there with your corrector, because the most product will go where you put your brush first. And I'm just laying it down. I'm bringing it just slightly into the inner corner, because usually if you do struggle with darkness, you have darkness in your inner corner as well. So I'm just tapping. And then I'm going to take the remainder and just tap over where I have this vein. The vein kind of goes all the way out here. And then I have this kind of a dark spot out here as well on this eye. And if you feel like you need more, you can always go in and get a little bit more. I'm going to get a tiny bit more on my brush for this eye because, like I said, this eye is a little bit darker than my right eye. The key to this, much like anything else in makeup, is start with less, and if you want more, add more later. Don't go in with a bunch of product because it's going to be really hard to fix. Okay, so now I've got that laid down. I'm going to let it sit for a few seconds, and now I'm going to take my brush again and just lightly tap. I have also tried doing this with a sponge, like a beauty sponge. You can do that. I just find that typically that picks up too much of your product, and then you've basically taken away all the correcting that you've just done. That's why I like to use a brush. I just feel like it works the best. And if you're going to use a sponge, I would say use a sponge with your concealer if you want to, instead of your corrector. I feel like your corrector, you're going to get the most out of it if you use a brush. And there you have it. Look how much of a difference that made, and I have nothing else on my face except my skincare. It is life-changing. Honestly, if you have darkness, you've got to try this from Believe Beauty for $4. So worth it. I wish I had the medium dark color here with me so I could show it to you, but I feel like no one talks about this product, and I'm not sure why, because this is amazing and it's so affordable. Next, we're going to move on to the step 2, which is your concealer. You can use whatever you want. The affordable concealer that I really like with this corrector is from e.l.f., and it's the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is the hydrating version, obviously, of the original e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I'm not a huge fan of that one. It's a little too mattifying for me. I like this one a lot more. I use the shade Light Peach. I would suggest using a concealer that's close to your skin tone. You can go a little bit lighter. In fact, this one is a little bit lighter than my actual face. but as long as you've corrected first, you can do that. To me, if you go straight in with a bright concealer, like I was saying earlier, you're not going to get the effect that you want. It's not going to brighten because you haven't corrected underneath. The darkness is just going to show right through. This is obviously a very individual thing. Some people like to apply more concealer than others. For me, I apply a decent amount, but I don't do the triangle thing and take it all over my face. I don't do that. So what I'm going to do, we'll start with the right eye. Just take a little bit in the inner corner and a little bit at this outer corner, and just a tiny, tiny bit in the center. So I'm focusing it the most in the inner portion because typically that's where you have the most darkness. I put a little bit out here because, again, most people have a little bit of darkness out this way, and this kind of helps to lift your face, and then I add just the tiniest bit in the center. Again, I'm gonna let this sit on my face for a few seconds. I don't go right in and blend it out. You can, I just find that that takes away some of your coverage. And if you're trying to really brighten and mask any darkness under your eyes, you want to get the most coverage that you can. Okay, now we're gonna blend it out, and again, you can use whatever you want. You can use your finger, you can use a sponge, but I prefer to use a brush. I use one of these two. One is from Real Techniques and one is from Smashbox. The Real Techniques brush is the setting brush, so it's actually for under eye powder, but I like it for concealer. And then this one is the Smashbox blurring concealer brush. It's a little more dense, but lately I've been going for the Real Techniques one. So what I'm gonna do is kind of similar what I did with the corrector. I am gonna go in and pat this in, and you can see with that amount of concealer that I used, already we've covered the entire under eye. And as you can see, it is a little bit brighter, I would say, than my skin tone, but that's okay because I've done my correcting underneath. And we're just gonna tap. Again, I find tapping works the best. If you swipe or you blend too aggressively, to me, that just kind of defeats the purpose. You're just kind of picking up your product and moving it around instead of getting it to stay where you want. Look how much brighter it looks under my eyes. It's crazy. And I used two products. I used Believe Beauty and e.l.f. for $10, $4, and the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer is $6, I believe. So total $10 for these two things, and you can see it totally brightens up under your eyes. Now let's move on to my left eye, and on this eye I'm actually going to show you a different product from e.l.f. that I also like. This is $5, I believe, so again, very affordable, and it's their newer e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I have the shade, I think it's, light 26 neutral. So this is a pen concealer, and what I will say about this one is this does not give as much coverage as the Camo Concealer. So if you want more coverage, I would go with that one. If you want something a little bit lighter, maybe you don't have as much darkness, I might go with this one instead. So I'm gonna click out a little bit of product. I'm gonna apply this in the inner corner, in the outer corner, and in the center, like I did on the other eye. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the same brush and just tap it out. Okay, and there you have it. So you have e.l.f. Hydrating Camo on this side and the e.l.f. Brightening Concealer on this side. To me, the e.l.f. Camo definitely does cover a little bit more. The brightening pen works really well too. The key is to correct before you go in with these things. Otherwise, you might as well just not put anything under your eyes because it's not gonna work. If you have discoloration. If you don't have any discoloration under your eyes, you totally skip this step and just go in with your concealer and you'll be fine. But for those of us that were blessed with darkness, discoloration, blue, purple, green, brown tones under the eyes, this is a really great thing to add to your makeup routine. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that it was helpful. If you watch my videos regularly, the Believe Beauty Corrector probably isn't a surprise product. I've talked about that a bunch of times here on my channel, but I did want to do a dedicated video because it's that good and it's $4. And this combo together is so affordable that I thought it would be a good video to share with you. So I hope you liked it. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here, and go follow me on Instagram at simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.